Welcome back to Dragon Quest II. In the previous episode, I discovered the town of Lianport, rescued a maiden there from gremlins, gaining a ship as a reward. Using this ship, I discovered the continent of Alfgard, as well as the towns of Zahan and Walgarth, getting the gold key and the jailer key. With the gold key, I acquired much legendary equipment, then I braved Charlock Castle, where the Dragon Lord's grandson advised me to gather the 5 crests and seek the wizard Rubies, who has the secret to defeat Hargon. I'll begin the gathering of the crests, so let's get to it. I sail north of Lianport, finding the wreck of the Relentless. I dive in, getting the treasure, then I return to Lianport, giving the treasure to the merchant who requested it, getting the echoing flute as a reward. I play it, but it doesn't seem to do much yet. I decide to grind for a while, Peta reaches level 12, learning the antidote spell. For real this time. I should issue a correction. The spell Peta learned last episode at level 10 was actually Defense, a spell that reduces all enemies' defense stat. My apologies. I then finish my grind when Rastaban reaches level 18. I then sail south of Alfgard, finding an island with a tower, the Lighthouse. New enemies inside this tower include the Undead. These enemies have good HP and attack, but somewhat low defense, and Gold Orcs, incredibly strong and beefy. They drop the most amount of gold in the game. I decide to play the flute here and echo. On this labyrinthine floor, I head counterclockwise around the edge, discovering stairs in the center. I head a bit north, finding a chest with 42 gold. I then climb to the southeast stairs to the second floor, going through a sequence of stairs that leads me to an isolated room in the 5th floor that has a chest containing a chain sickle. I return to the 1st floor, but get in trouble with demighosts, so I return to Tantegel to regroup and then return to the Lighthouse. Now that I am back at the center of the 1st floor, I climb up the southwestern stairs. I go west, south, then east to the next stairs. Then, at the 3rd floor, I climb up the first set of stairs I see, reaching the 4th floor. I go south, then east, opening a chest for 133 gold. I then climb the southwestern stairs to the 5th floor, going east to climb up to the 6th floor, finding immediate stairs back to the 5th floor, finding a chest. Wait, what's happening? Wait, the dragonflies are... oh... Yeah, so I lost half of my gold as well. Not very good. I make my way back to the Lighthouse, then navigate all the way to that previous chest, opening it for fairy water. Not really worth that gold loss, seriously. Peta even falls in combat again, so I have to make another trip to Tantegel. I make another trip to the Lighthouse. When I reach the 3rd floor, I go north, finding a door that can be opened with the gold key. This leads to a sequence of stairs that takes me all the way to the top, the 8th floor, finding a soldier that tells me he was once a guardian for Hargon, who lives in the plateau of Ron. Perplexed once again that the top floor of a tower didn't have an important item, I resume the climb back from 1st to 4th floor. This time I go north, then west, climb up to the 5th floor, moving east then south, finding stairs to the 6th floor, finding myself in a locked room. I open the door with the gold key, going northwest, climbing up to the 7th floor. On this floor, I find a monster that runs away as it sees me. I follow it, finding an old man who says he will guide me to one of the crests. Surely a trustworthy fellow. I follow him through the tower, climbing down all the way to the 2nd floor, finding a chest. I open it, getting nothing but a gremlin ambush. Although Peta falls in combat, I deal with them slowly but steadily, getting the Star Crest once they're defeated. First crest obtained. I return to Tantegel to recover, then decide to travel the seas. Arfo reaches level 17, learning the Step Guard spell, which will protect my party from floor damage. I decide to disembark on the landmass west of the main continent, finding a new town. New enemies near this town include Titan Trees, decently strong enemies capable of dancing a little jig, and Goopies, enemies that are capable of calling for help. I enter the town of Beran. Facilities in this town include an inn, a house of healing, a lottery, an item shop that sells herbs, wings and water, and a weapon shop that sells giant hammers, wizard's wands, dragon killers, steel shields, shields of strength, and iron helmets. I talk to a soldier who seeks the Thunder Sword, which can be used by those unable of casting magic. A man says that Osterfair lies to the south of Midenhall. A wise man says that the leaf of the world tree is capable of revival. Another soldier gives me a message. The Sun Crest is at the fire monolith. A maiden says that the water-flying cloth can be made with the magic loom and Deuce yarn. A 3rd soldier says that the King of Osterfair knows of the Moon Crest. Another maiden says that to the far east is an island with trees from all over the world. I find a safe point as well. I open a cell door, talking to the prisoner there, daring me to try walking to the travel door to the left. Good thing I have Step Guard. I talk to the wise man on the other side, saying that the road to Ron was west of this monolith. So I turn back. I leave the town, getting a wizard's wand drop from a tree, which I give to Peta. I then head north, finding a familiar Monolith. I go to the center door, finding myself back at that remote island Monolith from before. Seeing the lit fire though, I decide to blow the echoing flute, and since I hear the same echo from the lighthouse, I decide to search the area, finding the Sun Crest on a corner outside. Second crest obtained. I use this travel door network, exiting near Cannock, going all the way back to Midenhall. I then sail south, finding a Monolith on a single tile island. I explore it, but can't seem to find anything here, so I head back further southeast, finding a castle on a large island. New enemies in this island include evil trees, dancing enemies that can also cast stop spell, gas, high defense enemies that cast supporting spells, sorcerers, another spell-casting enemy, this one can cast the stronger Firebane, and Horks. They can crit and poison with their attacks or use Sweet Breath. I enter the Castle of Osterfair. Facilities here include an inn and a weapon shop that sells broadswords, giant hammers, dragon killers, clothes hiding, magic armor, and iron helmets. A man talks of the pirate ship Relentless, which held the echoing flute I now have. Another man suggests throwing away items I do not need. An old man here confirms my suspicions. The echoing flute reveals the location of the Crests. A warrior says that the armor of Gaia was kept on a shop that sells armor, and a prisoner says that to the south, in the island of Zahan, a man named Torval had the golden key, which I now have. I then go around the castle. I had seen a golden door in the weapon shop, so I try opening it from the other side. I open chests for the armor of Gaia, which I give to Rastaban, and a magic knife. I then talk to the king, accepting his challenge for his amusement. I face a saber lion. It's very strong, but is otherwise unremarkable. I defeat it after a couple of turns. With the challenge complete, the king rewards me with the Moon Crest. Third crest obtained. I then use the travel door I found here, finding myself at the Monolith south of Midenhall. I explore the seas west of the mainland, finding a river system, disembarking to the west. New enemies that can be found here include hunters, a generic strong attacker, puppet men, dancers that can also cast increase, kibabangos, strong spellcasting enemies. These baboons are truly magical, metal babbles, maximum defense enemies that are incredibly difficult to defeat but award a lot of experience. Be careful with those firebanes though. And Graboopies, stronger versions of goopies that can also call for help. After a long trek, I find a new town, Toon. Facilities in this town include an inn, a house of healing, an item shop that sells wings, water, and dragon's banes, and a weapon shop that sells wizard's wands, falcon swords, dragon killers, magic armor, shields of strength, and iron helmets. A soldier here says that someone in this town can sew the water flying cloth. A man says that the Tower of Moon is where the Moon Fragment is located. A man tells of Roj Fastfinger. He's responsible for stealing a key to the town's sluice gate, which controls the flow of the nearby river. A maiden says that the Tower of Moon lies to the south, but it can't be reached by ship currently. An old man locked behind a golden door is none other than Don Mahon, the weaver, but his loom has been stolen. Without it, he can't make the water flying cloth. His only hint to the identity of the thief is that he smelled like fish. Another man says that raising the sluice gate would allow water to flow into the riverbed. I then open a cell door to the very northwest and climb down the stairs. Seems that this is a sluice gate they can't operate. I then work back to Midenhall to rest. This has been a somewhat successful journey. I braved the Lighthouse, defeated a gremlin ambush, obtaining the Star Crest they guarded, discovered the town of Beran, which has clues for the next two crests, those being the Sun Crest on a removed Monolith, and the Moon Crest, which I found on the Kingdom of Osterfair, after successfully amusing its king. I then found the town of Toon, where a weaver shall sew a legendary cloth should I find his loom. I have more than half of the crests, just 2 more left, and I can finally convene with the wizard rubies. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, as I continue the search for the crests.